Have I talked too much about Netflix on this channel?
Perhaps.
Hey guys, welcome to another top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 of my favorite animated shows on Netflix. I've done a lot of Netflix lists, tier rankings, top 10 lists, movies and shows, but I'm just specifically talking about animated television shows that are on Netflix. Whether they're anime or American animation, just animation in general. Netflix has made some really good original animated shows that shocked the fucking shit out of me. And yeah, I thought I'd talk about my 10 personal favorites. No honorable mentions. We're just going to get into it. Hopefully, we don't drag on too long. Number 10, Terminator Zero. This is the new show that came out this year. A show that I didn't even want to watch. Didn't give a fuck to watch a Terminator television show. Especially like another Terminator going back in time to the 90s. I'm like, oh my god, are we just like doing the Terminator 2 Judgment Day again? Are we doing a Genesis shit again? A Dark Fate? Like, I've almost like become very bitter when it comes to anything Terminator related because, well, Terminator's become a very sour and shitty franchise. Video game and television show, movies, all of it. But to my surprise, I was shocked of how good it was. This had great action. The animation was very beautiful. I could tell that they were not trying to be just the James Cameron Terminator movies. It tried to be its own movie. The kid was a good character. The machines were cool. The action was cool. It had meaning, and it does tie in to Terminator in a pretty cool and clever way. I was actually enjoying myself watching this television show. And I'm baffled. I'm like, 2024 Terminator show on Netflix, and it's good. Sounds suspicious. Trust me, it's good. Check it out. Coming at number 9 is Violet Evergarden. This is an anime that I love. This is just an anime that's just atmosphere. Kind of like a Mushishi or Kino's Journey or something like that. It's a lot of mood and atmosphere about like this android having a job in the future, helping and healing people. There's also like subplots of political warfare and society. It is a damn good show. There's a little movie on it too that's good too, but this is good. Like I watched this years ago when it came out on Netflix, and I was like, that seems kind of interesting. It's got sort of the sort of Fate Stay Night sort of animation, but it has like the atmosphere of Akino's Journey, and it was great. I've always been a fan of Violet Evergarden, and I've seen this show twice now. I watched it years later, and it still holds up, and it's definitely one of Netflix's stronger shows. So, not even just animation wise, just shows in general. So, yeah. Number 8 is The Dragon Prince. I need to catch up on this show. I know it's not fair to put this on here since I've only seen the first season. But it's slim pickings on here. And yeah, Dragon Prince had a good first season. I really enjoyed the characters, the world building. Everyone was saying this is Avatar Last Airbender meets Voltron. And yeah, it's definitely not as good as like Avatar Last Airbender, but I can see what they're talking about. The animation is really nice. The characters are likable, colorful, lively. The action's good, visuals are good, and I was very invested by the end of the first season. I wanted to know where it was going, but I just haven't got on to the next seasons. So maybe if I keep watching Dragon Prince, it won't even be on this list because it sucks, or it will continue being great and maybe make its way lower on the list. But yeah, till then, number 8 is still a good spot. Number 7, F is for Family. F is for Family is a Bill Burr raunchy cartoon comedy series created by Bill Burr and starring Bill Burr, and it is just Bill Burr at his most Bill Burr. It's a very funny show. It takes place in like the 80s, I think in the 80s. And it's just about a guy working a mundane, average job, and he's basically just getting sick of life, marriage, and just the new generation, and him complaining about a lot of things. And it's just like a family comedy show, but a very raunchy and crude family comedy show, like a Family Guy and stuff, but it's just not as over the top. It feels more real and grounded and talks about real and grounded issues, but it is funny. And it is only funny if you're a fan of Bill Burr, because the entire show is Bill Burr humor. If Bill Burr is not funny to you and his kind of comedy is not funny to you, because his comedy is very loud and it's just complaining a lot. That's the biggest gist of what Bill Burr does, is he complains about a lot of things, and that's what makes his comedy and his shtick funny. And that's what a lot of the show is, and that's where the comedy comes from, of complaining and people complaining, and it is very funny. But some people might find that very annoying. But to me, I find it hilarious. So for me, FOC Family is a great show. Number 6, Cyberpunk Edge Runners. This came out the same year as another show that I'll be talking about. And these two anime shows were like head to head as like what was the best animated show on, well, Netflix, and even that year, even at the Game Awards. Both of these were nominated for Best Television Show of the Year based off of a video game adaptation. Visually, this show is pristine. It's visually fantastic, and it ties into the cyberpunk world by being its own thing. The way they tackle issues with androids and conforming into the human world, it's very Blade Runner-esque. Everyone knows how much I love Blade Runner. I think the only thing that I had issues with is there's some subplots with some characters that I felt like just went nowhere, but it's still a great show. And yeah, can't really complain. So there you go. Number 5, Castlevania. Castlevania is a solid show as well. See, the thing is with Castlevania, I am not a huge like Castlevania guy. I've never really played any of the video games. And I know Castlevania is a classic series, very Metroid-esque, but more spooky and haunting and stuff. The funniest thing is I played the game that's kind of like a spin-off of it, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I've played that game, which was pretty good, but I've never played a Castlevania game. So when the Netflix show came out, I just had no idea how good this show was. I didn't know anything about the lore and about this Dracula story and everything, but it was great. The setup is great, the world building's great, the atmosphere is good, the soundtrack kicks ass. This is a better show than like a Hellsing, because I know like when people think of like vampire animated shows, they think of like Hellsing. This is better in every way. This is a killer show, and I have no idea how loyal it is to the video games, but I can judge it as a show, and as a show, it's a fucking badass show. So yeah. Number 4 is an anime called My Happy Marriage. My Happy Marriage, I loved it, this show. I just watched literally a month ago. I was bored and I just ran into it. I felt like watching like an anime, and this was like a Netflix one. And it's a cool show, but it's a very like heartbreaking show, because it's about like this girl, and in this world, people are born with like these like gifts and powers, and when you don't, you're kind of like known as like a lesser class citizen. And this young girl is born into a family with very unique powers, but because she has no powers, she's treated like dirt and treated like a servant. And the father doesn't want to have anything to do with her, so he like marries her off to some rich guy so he can get rid of her. And she thinks she's going to get married off to this rich guy that is a dick and abuses his wives, but he actually ends up being an amazing person and wants to help her and guide her and unlock the potential in her, and it becomes this like very beautiful love story. It is so good. It's such an endearing show. It has great visuals. The animation is gorgeous, but these characters are just so likable and just so intriguing. And yeah, I absolutely adore this show. It's one of my favorites on Netflix. Number 3, Arcane. Arcane is so good. Absolutely great. Been waiting for season 2. It's finally coming to us. Haley Steinfeld kicks ass in the show. Everyone kicks ass in the show. And the thing is, it takes a bit to get used to this sort of animation, because the animation is great. It's just, it's a unique style that I'm not used to. Even with CG animation, I'm used to like Pixar stuff. Right? When I watch an anime, I'm used to like the beautiful hand-drawn Miyazaki-looking animation. This animation is very computer generated, but it's its own like video game style, and it's really cool. I love the story of these two sisters and this good and evil between these sisters and the confliction of them. I love the world and characters that this show has. The voice acting is great. The action is great. The twists and turns, the thrills are all fantastic. It's just a damn awesome show. So, check it out. Number 2, Blood of Zeus. Blood of Zeus is another show I watched very recently, meaning I literally just finished it today, season 2. Great show. This is what He-Man tried to be. Like that stupid, ridiculous He-Man show that Kevin Smith made. This has very similar animation style, but it's just better. It's a better story, and I'm a sucker for Greek mythology. Everyone knows I love Greek mythology, everything about Greek mythology. I love it. I love the lore and just the stories, and this is awesome about this, this young guy. He is one of the bastard sons of Zeus, and his half-brother is here to take revenge on the gods and is working for Hera so she can kill all the bloodlines of Zeus and stuff. And then season 2, we get like Hades and the mixtures of this war of the gods. And what a great show. Action is awesome. I love that I haven't seen a lot of shows and movies like really make detailed humanistic stories about the Greek gods, and this show does it so well. God of War Ragnarok and God of War 2018 did a very good job doing that with the Norse gods. But in the God of War Greek mythology gods for the first 3 God of Wars, the gods are just dicks. And a lot of like shows and movies, they just show the gods as assholes. And they are weird and they can be assholes, but it was cool to see a show showing the humanity side of the gods. And I loved this show. I thought it was beautiful. It had great action, great characters, and yeah, it was good. Number 1, Blueeye Samurai. Blueeye Samurai is a show I watched at the beginning of this year. I was a little late to the party on it, but I loved it. Animation, spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. This is a perfect example of a show how to write a badass female character, but not make her a Mary Sue. They make her a character to root for. Yes, she takes on a bunch of guys, but she gets injured, stabbed, and sliced. She doesn't know everything. She has to learn the ways of a samurai. She learns from her mistakes. She makes mistakes and learns from mistakes. She doesn't always know what she's doing. She has fear. She has frustrations, and she has all these things that women have. Because women are not men. But for some reason, to make a woman badass in some movies and shows, they just write women to be like men, which is silly. The main character in this show is a damn amazing, compelling character. All the characters are great. The action is great. I love Kenneth Branagh as, Fowler as the villain. He is awesome. And there are a lot of great voice actors like George Takei and Brenda Song are in this too. And this is just amazing show. I cannot wait for season 2. It hooked me from the very ending of the first episode. I literally wanted to know what was going to happen with this character and what kind of journey I was about to go on. And man, the journey is incredible. It's a hell of a ride. If you've not checked out Blueeye Samurai yet, please do yourself a favor and check it out. So yeah, that was my top 10 of my favorite animated shows on Netflix. Let me know in the comments below what are your favorite shows on Netflix that are animated. Comment below, let me know. And until this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.